So weird being out here. What's up, everybody? This is Jarrell from A Shot of Reviews, and I'm here with my friend Stu. And welcome to another exciting episode of A Shot of Reviews. A little nervous this time because we're in a new studio, so to speak. We're recording outside of DeSico's Bar and Grill, or no grill, just bar.
Do they
DeSico's
grill?
Dive
Do they-
in
They ever
Tavern.
do hot dogs? I thought maybe they do. They do hot dogs. They're not a grill though, but
yeah.
They
let's
do have
just
food.
let's just say it's
like bar
DeSico's
snacks.
Tavern
Yeah, they'll
in
cook you a
Raritan, New
hot dog.
Jersey. Yes, and we're here to, review some albums, drink some beers, take some shots,
Woo!
and have a good time. And this is actually a special show today because we have a guest joining us again from last time. We got Snarky Mark from he was on our show last time in May. I hate that name, but it's kind of like a pun on the Mark Wahlberg character. He's not a character; he's an actual person. Yeah. So
Well, Marky Mark is
Yeah,
kind
so-
of a character of Mark Wahlberg. So
Snarky Mark. That's why I call him that. But he's here today to help us review one of the albums that we're going to do today. So real quick, say hi, Mark.
Hey, Snarky Mark is back. Hey, how's it going? I'm looking forward to talking about music.
Nice. I like the you were trying to do that kind of radio voice. And we're back. We're gonna talk a lot about SNL shit, which Stu does not watch the show, unlike
I
me and
watched
Mark.
the
So
show. I don't have board games and memorize every friggin' quote.
yeah, you gotta play that
we
board
got
game with
somebody.
me, Mark.
They want to chime in.
Oh wait, I gotta finish talking. I'm
We
sorry.
got people with really loud motors that want to be on the show.
All right. So anyway, we review albums. We drink. We got a guest on today, and before I get to my the part of the show where I introduce our mascot, I gotta ask you guys. Since we're at a bar, we have to unfortunately pay for our own drinks and stuff like that. So do you want to go in? You want to get our own drinks?
We got to figure out. We're figuring out the shot thing. I
Yeah,
thought we
we're
figured
gonna
it out
try-
earlier.
Or
Alright.
do you want to do some shooters?
You sneaky bastard.
Yes, we got ourselves some Smirnoff. We got ourselves some Hennessy. Got
It's like
some
drinking beer at the movie theater.
yes. Got some Patron
Dude,
and
you got all. I'm not gonna be able to put up all those graphics on the.
I already took a picture. Don't worry about it.
You took a picture of each one.
I'm telling you, there's another
You're
one.
gonna make a little collage.
Crown Royale is the fourth one. So let me ask a survey. I'm down for just sipping those.
Well,
when
we could do
can.
both. We could do both.
That means pay for stuff we already have. You're saying?
No, I'm saying we're gonna drink those and then pay for more.
Spoken like a true alcoholic. What do you want to do, Mark? What do you prefer?
I mean, I was good with just the beer. I gotta drive myself home. You can walk home from here. But yeah, I'm just down with that. A thing, a nip here or there.
All right, I think you're outvoted 2-1. So
All right.
if you want,
If I want to get a shot, I'll go get my own shot.
yeah, that will work. So without further ado, let me introduce my friend Little John. He lets us know when it's time to take some shots. And when you hear this sound, that means it's time for us to drink. So first off, we'll give Mark a decision. Do you want some Hennessy? Gangsta.
You know my my palate.
So you're not going to pick the Patron, I figure.
No, definitely no tequila, no whiskey.
I can't seem to find the fourth bottle.
Oh, you got vodka?
Yeah, but the vodka's mine because I'm a
Oh.
bitch just like you. Oh, there it is. I found it.
What do I got?
You got some Crown Royale.
All right.
All right, so let's.
Technically whiskey, but Crown Royal I can handle.
You hear it breaking open on here.
Still tastes like peanuts. I don't know why. Just to me.
All right, little to a successful show, guys.
Okay, Little John.
To Little John and to drinking illegally. Thing is, you don't have to kill it right away, Just a little swig doesn't hurt anybody. All right. So let me tell you what's on the agenda today. We're reviewing albums from... Well, Mark's here to help us review the album from Silver Sun Pickup. We'll also be reviewing the debut album from Fetty Wap, and the latest album from what is it called? Parkway Drive. Yes. Okay. I got a little thing in my throat. I'm sorry. Let's get to the point now. Actually, the reason we're recording out here, which I was worried about with the whole hurricane coming. We had a hurricane threat, Hurricane Joaquin.
Hurricane threat.
Yeah.
Joaquin.
Phoenix. Joaquin.
With a J, not a W. I thought it was with a W, too.
You thought it was the Christian Walken hurricane? I'm not going to embarrass myself with an impression because I can't do one, but cowbells everywhere, but whatever. It's just, that was going to come, and then when it didn't happen, I'm like, great, it's going to rain. I was telling you, Mark, I'm like, oh, maybe we have to record somewhere else. And it was like, it'll just be cloudy today. But now today it's just a gorgeous evening, no clouds in the sky whatsoever. So we're going to celebrate that. And the way we celebrated last night, Stu, we played a little game of Cards Against Humanity. Have you ever played that game before, Marky?
Oh yeah, definitely fun game.
You like it better than Apples, or you're kind of biased?
Isn't it the same, kind of?
I don't know if I've played Apples to Apples. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's a fun game.
It's apples to apples, but apples to apples is like fourth grader language. Instead
It's basically less. It's a raunchy version of Apples to Apples. If you've ever played this game out there, basically how would you describe this? People never heard of it. You got a bunch of cards, get teams, and you just pick. You have a guy ask a question. You pick the most disgusting thing to answer to, and whoever is the funniest one they pick, and the one who threw that card down is the one that wins. It's funny, whatever. So we did a little bit of that, drank a bit. That was kind of fun. Did anything else happen to you this week, Stu, that you want to talk about?
This week?
Work or anything like that?
Nah, worked overtime and, did my usual. Nothing exciting.
It's got to change with you, man. You don't do anything
nothing
exciting.
to protest. No, I'm telling you, in January, everything's going to change.
Yeah.
Everything's going to change.
Yes, it'll be 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, new job. I'll be a webmaster.
Uh-huh.
And that's all I'll do. I'll be shipping and receiving and sit behind a computer of my own thing. It'd be nice.
Let me get to my guest here. Let's talk a little bit about me and Mark's relationship. If you guys didn't hear the past show, we actually worked together at a corporate CD store, which we will not mention the name. And you, unfortunately, when the place went under in 2013, and we got our freedom, I want to call it like our parole from that corporate hell.
Really? Record store went under?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? People are buying CDs left and right all the time. I don't understand how that possibly could happen. But place closed in 2013. I go to Woodbridge and happen to walk in the one that's still open, and I see this motherfucker still working there. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you still want to work here? And he says, times are hard. I've been this or sucking dick in the corner in the streets or whatever. So he made a wise choice. I'm like, nah, I think I would rather blow people. But come to find out, you own your own store now. You want to talk a little bit about how that's been going?
Okay, well, first of all, I still suck dick in corners. Nothing's changed there, definitely. So I decided that, after we got our severance, which is what I would call it,
my $500 for working there for 10 years. It was a great severance. I've saved every penny for a week. Go on. I don't know, decided to go with what I knew and stay with the company that, I had a position available. So I was able to, leave, get money for leaving, not work for a few months, and then go back to the same company and get a better position, a better paying position.
You should do that every month.
Yeah, right.
Just work a month, off a month.
And now, so I got promoted in May, which I guess we may have talked about, may or not have. Right now I'm looking to leave because holiday retail seasons are garbage, and not looking forward to the working 48 hours mandatory 6 days a week minimums of the holiday season and getting paid for not that much. Not the same amount of money for way more work, way more aggravation. So I've got a job interview tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully
Everybody! What was I excited about that?
job interview tomorrow. Looking forward to this hangover, and hopefully onwards and upwards to someplace that pays better and better hours and no customers and no. I didn't know you guys still existed. Hey, do people even still buy this shit? And I'm like, this is my life, sir. Thank you for diminishing it.
Oh, great. That was me walking in the store.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Are you guys open? Like things like that, right? So I can't really make fun of you too much because I unfortunately had to sell my soul, and I work at a retail store myself. Retail convenience store. I don't want to say their name, but I noticed a big difference between customers, like between when it's for a place where you have to buy a thing that you need versus buy a thing that you want. So like, do you get a lot of customers? I never noticed this when I work with you, but do you ever get customers that will come to the register on the phone the whole time through the transaction?
Oh, with the Bluetooth?
No, just not regular phone. They'll be in line, just like shoulder up to their ear, and then they get there and they put their stuff down, and you ring them up, and you're trying to say your sale pitch, because we had to fucking sell bullshit like discount cards on there. But anyway, do people do that with you? Like they come to you to just the whole transaction, they just on their phone and shit like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely more so the past year and a half. Like, it's just becoming more and more of like this disease of people not being able to put anything down, where like they're having a complete conversation. There's also, I mean, just being in the mall that I'm at, demographically, it's different than like Bridgewater was when we worked in Bridgewater together. So it's like there's people that I don't understand. Like, you have a conversation, like literally they have. It's like they can't get off the phone with people. Well, they'll have someone on the phone, or I've seen people having like Skype or FaceTime conversations. Like they just stay on it like for hours, like just like going about their day. Like, how can you ever want to talk to someone that much, or have that much to say, or how fucking annoying would it be if you're on the phone with someone and then like they just have no problem, like they'll answer a question from you. And then they turn, and now they have an entire conversation with me at the register. Then they go back to their phone conversation. It baffles me because like I can't fucking stand it. Like, if I'm on the phone with someone and they have a conversation, like they're like, "Oh, hold on," and then you got to hear like this echoey, mumbled conversation through the phone. I don't fucking understand it. And like I feel myself like I'm almost 30. I'm 31. This Friday is my birthday, and. Is there a happy birthday soundboard?
Happy birthday shot. Well, John's like, nah, I do enough birthdays.
But I'm just saying, like, turning 31, I feel myself getting older and being like, what's wrong with this generation? These motherfuckers don't know what real music is. They don't know what... Like, that's how I felt listening to Fetty Wap today. I'm like, this is... I mean, we'll get to that.
He's from New Jersey, right?
I know, yeah, he's from Patterson. And, like, I actually...
Patterson, that's a nice place.
I had kind of a funny story about Fetty Wap, but... we'll get to that when we talk about his album. Yeah. However, yeah, I feel myself getting older and feeling like an old man asshole and not understanding like how the kids do the things they do these days with their phones and their gizmos and whatchamahoozits.
Hashtag old man asshole. That's what we're gonna go with. But I don't want to trade back and forth with all these specific customer stories. But I just want everyone listening out there. It's fucking annoying if you want to be on your phone in line, so stop it right now.
It's worse with the Bluetooth, because I didn't even know they're on the phone. Like, I worked retail way back.
You got a sexy ass. He's
I'll never work retail again. Yeah. But they will come up with the Bluetooth and be like, they'll be talking. I'll be like, oh yeah, and they'll be like, not you. I'll be like, oh shit. It's like, do you like me to ring you up? Hold on.
It's fucking bullshit.
I'm on the phone. Can't you see I'm on the phone? I was like, no, actually I can't because it's in your ear and you're not even facing me.
Yeah. Well, enough with the griping. So this is what Mark has been up to, and it's really good to have you here. Glad to see you. You haven't slit your throat yet while jumping off a building and shooting yourself in the head, because that's the way you got to kill yourself. Make sure you're dead. This is actually nice. How you liking it out here? Yeah, just like falling down, jumping off a cliff, falling down, like cut your throat on the way down.
All that reminds me of is the kid that tried to shoot himself in the face with a shotgun and survived. So yeah, make sure
telling
you
a story about
actually
your life.
make sure you actually finish the job.
Yeah. So I want to do a little plug here. The Seacoast is like a dive bar, but not in a bad way. But they have shows here all the time. Actually, in December, one of our good friends, Chernobyl Disaster, is playing a big show here. So if you actually are in the neighborhood, you should come out to that show. It's a free show. A lot of punk bands playing.
Got a punk shit.
Actually, it's January 2nd. I should say that right. January 2nd, they're going to be here playing. But anyway, speaking of interviews, I actually want to talk to you guys. I'm actually interviewing a band tomorrow. I'm interviewing Suicide Silence. They're opening for Korn at the Irving Plaza. You guys ever been there before?
I've never been to the Urban Plaza.
All right, so I'll ask Mark. Mark seems like he's been there before. Can you tell me what to expect? Because I've never been to that venue in my life.
Really? You've never been to? Oh wow. Okay. I've been to many shows at Irving Plaza. Yeah. I mean, you want to know what to expect in terms of like what the venue looks like, or like just how it's set up. What you're gonna. I mean, it's. I will say I know it's going under like different ownership. I think for the past couple of years, I know it was like. I think it wasn't Irving Plaza for a little while. It changed names. Now it's back, I guess.
Is there seating?
No, not. I mean, like I'm saying, this is all going off of information that from the last show I went to there was 2006, probably.
So it's all general admission.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's a normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, and there's so let's see. You walk in. There's going to be like a ticket booth. There's coat check. Then there's stairs.
Not like that. I mean, like, how would you rate the venue?
There's 4 bathrooms.
Yeah. All the urinals are nice, clean, and you gotta make sure you make a left right there. I'm just asking, like,
The
is
towel
it a good venue? Because I
dispensers.
heard they're playing these.
They're always full.
Corn is big, basically. Corn is huge, and they're saying that this tour they're doing, not only they're playing the whole first album all the way through, but they want to play like more intimate settings. So is it like really tiny? Will I be shoulder to shoulder with people, considering how big Corn is?
You'll definitely be shoulder to shoulder with people. It's like, let's see. Have you been to Bowery Ballroom?
Yeah, remember that? I actually we talked about that in May. I went to see Face to Face there. I think.
All right. Picture like Bowery Ballroom, a little bit bigger, like wider, and with like a balcony area that goes around like the sides and the back. So I mean, maybe more like more like kind of like a little bit like Webster Hall, maybe like Roseland. I think rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace for Roseland. But yeah, I mean it's I've had many a good show there. I saw like They Might Be Giants, Mindless Self-Indulgence, My Chemical Romance. I went to when the Dead Kennedys toured, without Jello, like
Really?
around 2006. I didn't. Well, I went for the opening band and then left before they played.
Oh, you didn't see them?
Yeah.
You don't like the
I'm
Dead
an asshole.
Kennedys?
I like the Dead Kennedys,
Oh.
but I it's one of those things where like, it's no Jello Biafra.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, just like whatever.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
I was in college
That's like
and-
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
Same
With
thing.
with Linkin Park guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because there's a band, World Inferno Friendship Society, from Bridgewater, event, but they opened the show, and I was huge into them and huge going to see like all, because at the time I was in college in New York, so like I was going to see them all the time, so they opened so I went to that, and I saw CKY there, a bunch of other shows. Anyway, fun, good times at Irving Plaza. I recommend it.
Actually, reason I'm actually nervous because I don't really listen to Suicide Silence. I have all their albums on my computer, and I'm trying to listen to it. It's deathcore, quote unquote. I'm going to ask them if they like that label, but I really don't want to ask so how are you guys getting along with the fact that your previous singer died in a car accident? But yeah, we were in there.
Yeah,
It's cool.
we got a deal on beer. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to ask the guy in there. He'll give you a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Oh, we got someone talking to us right now.
You want to interview?
So yeah, their singer died in a motorcycle accident. I don't want to embarrass myself and say something like. So I've been trying to work my questions, whatever. So hopefully it'll go well. But I'm kind of interested in the fact that you actually Stu, have you ever went to a concert and left before the main act before? That's kind of like
we
weird
did.
to me.
We did that at
Which I don't remember. He's gonna tell me a story I don't remember. Go ahead.
You don't remember? All right. What we miss? Alkaline Trio. Did we miss them?
No, I saw them. You were
Where was
somewhere
I?
drunk somewhere. I guess I don't know. You probably in a ditch or something
I
like that.
thought the summer.
You're
summer
talking about the
not summer
skate and
stage,
surf, right?
Skate and surf.
I
Skate and
saw
surf.
them.
Didn't we?
We
Did
stayed-
we leave early?
We left before. We left before Newfound Glory because
Okay,
that
then
was
there
our
you
last
go.
ride. We
Oh
had no
yeah,
choice.
I did see Alkaline Trio.
Our friend Mark over here is saying he had a choice between saying to see like a cover version of Dead Kennedys or just
and
leaving.
That usually happens when you. It's usually not on purpose though. You have to leave, and you
it was
miss
on
the
purpose in
headliner.
this case.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a valid point. It's like he said, it's not the lead singer, but I think the guy that's doing it like could just mimic him well, which is basically the same situation I'm in, seeing Suicide Silence with a new singer. So how bad could it possibly have been?
Yeah, but they didn't get huge, right? With that singer.
That's not the point of them touring again. It's just reliving the Dead Kennedys sound. And the other guy, they had a big falling out. I don't want to just describe the whole issue with them, money and all that shit like that. So Jerry Jello does his own thing. He probably does Dead Kennedy songs on his own. Would you have seen him by himself, Mark?
Well, does he still do music stuff? I know he does a lot of spoken word. Okay, so Jarrell's nodding yes. I mean, would I see him by himself? Probably not. I don't know. like he probably makes. I don't know. No. I mean, the thing about it is like, especially at the time, I don't even know if I was really that into. Like, I love the Dead Kennedys now. I had a very, whatever. I had like a pretty good punk rock education post college, where like during college, like I had at that point, I wasn't really into like that kind of stuff in high school. Like I liked other kind of music in high school, you know, like, and I kind of had my own weird thing going on. So yeah, I mean, it's just not where I came from. It's not something that like I revered. You know, most of what I knew about the Dead Kennedys came from T-shirts that I saw other kids wearing. Like, they're just not a band I got into.
I grew up on punk rock.
Yes, you're such a punk, man.
Yes, I was living in the gutter.
I think Stu's
When
angry
in-
with
in
you with the
sixth
choice he
grade.
made 9 years ago. If he had a time machine, he'd go back in time and slap you in the face as soon as you left the venue.
That's all right.
You're like, what the fuck was that for? You'll find out in the future. Future.
The thing about it too is that I was there for the band that opened instead of like, it's not like just I went to a show and I don't know. It's different if it's something that, like, I was there for the band that was there, the first band, you know. And it was also like, because, so if you're, you know, for those who aren't familiar with World Inferno Friendship Society, they're a band whose fans tend to like, they dress up in like suits at their shows, and they play a waltz most of their shows, and you know the people will dance together, and so it was one of those things where I was there for that. And so, like, it was fun because there was all the people, the old school punk kids, and all the people who were there to see Dead Kennedys, like, 50 feet back from the stage, just giving us all the room to, like, dance around and do our own stupid shit and, like, watch and with our arms crossed, you know? And we had a bunch of fun, and then I was like, all right, well, fuck this, let's go home. You know, like, we're in New York City. It's like, let's go get a slice of pizza, which will probably be better than listening to, you know, some guy who's not Jelly Biafra singing songs, you know? So, that's my defense.
All right, good point. So, we had a good conversation there. If you guys want to let us know what you think and that you can about going to shows and leaving before the main act, what do you guys think? I don't know what people think about that. So email us, and I'll let you know what the email thing is at the end of the show.
I think they time most shows in New York City so you can hop the train and get the train back to New Jersey.
They do, which I'll find out tomorrow.
But forget about anything EDM.
Yeah.
Because I can't go see EDM acts because I'll never make the train back to New Jersey.
I don't know why you worry about that shit so much. Like me and Stu went to see, who do we see? Body Count. And you were so afraid to get stuck in New York, even though there's
you
so
don't
much
want-
things to do in New York at 4 in the morning.
I've walked the streets of New York for hours on end, waiting for the sun to come up so I could go home. So it's happened before.
And that's why you're like, never again. I'm
Yes.
like, how bad
No.
could it be?
It's like being a bum for a night.
I did that once, and when I saw Fishbone in 1999 at a
Without the liquor.
place called the Tramps. You remember the Tramps? You're probably too young for that. But the Tramps was like a venue. They didn't start playing till 9, the opening acts, and Fishbone didn't get on stage till midnight, or yeah, close to midnight. So we missed the last train back. We didn't sleep at Penn Station all night. But I was like, this is cool. I got to see Fishbone play their own set. I don't care. But I would say by like, if you go to Penn Station at like 2 a.m. and you stay there, you get kind of bored by 4. I'll give you.
No. The new thing, they'll kick you out. They'll kick you
they
out of there.
okay.
Remember that happened to Rob?
Our friend Rob.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he hates it too. Getting stuck there.
Well, he got kicked out of. He went to Newark. You can get to Newark. You could easily take the PATH train 24 hours a day, 24-hour a day, and then you're stuck in Newark. And then you know what they do? They kick you out of the train station, and then you're in Newark on the streets at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, "Ah, fuck, what do I do?" And he paid for a taxi home, and it was like $150.
Let's get 2 more opinions on this, and then we'll move on. What do you got to say, Mark?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that that same thing happened to me one time. I was went to Warsaw in Brooklyn to go see Mike Patton and Rozelle. They did like this, Rozelle doing beatboxes and Mike Patton doing his skitty scat thing, over that.
Scat, nice, yeah.
And it was
I do that in the shower all the time.
I saw them.
Skibbity bop, you want it all, but you can't have it. Bop, boo boo. You try to get it, but you can't grab it. We care a lot. Is that what it's like?
It was, man, I should have just came to see you. But I saw them do it at the Knitting Factory before then, and so my friend was like, oh man, like they're doing it again. Let's go. So we're at the Warsaw in Brooklyn. Before that, they had this rap group. No, they're not terrible, but like just they're on Patton's record label, and it was just like an hour straight of just the same beat, like it was bad. And then same thing where it was like like they finally got on, and we had to leave halfway through because we were like, shit, we're not gonna make the train, and we ended up getting stuck in Newark, and I had to like call my brother to fucking come pick us up, and it's the worst. Like I definitely. I'm on your side with worrying about the train schedules and stuff. That's
all they have to do is run the trains later.
Yeah, exactly.
and they refuse to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they'll run the trains like, okay, we're in Raritan. This is normally last stop. For some reason, like 4 or 5 times a day, they will go all the way to Highbridge. It's like they'll go 20 miles further, like into like it's Highbridge is like White House, Clinton.
Yeah.
It's like way the fuck nowhere near the city, and nobody gets on the train. Nobody gets on the train there. I fell asleep one time and ended up there. That's how I know. And nobody gets on the train from there to go to the city or coming home.
Yeah.
Complete waste of money. Yet they won't run a train at like one train at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Or 3 o'clock in the morning, which would get all the partiers home. Yeah, and they refuse. They know.
The other thing I was gonna say, this is still like me defending myself for leaving that show early, but I would say here's the thing is that at the time I'm going to college, I have a dorm room in the city, so at the time going to shows was like, oh well, like let me leave my house at like 10 minutes before the show, take the fucking subway, get there, show up, leave. Like one time the Dwarves played a double show at the Knitting Factory, and like we went there, got sweaty, got covered in shit, went home, showered, was able to like eat a little bit, sit down, watch TV, then go back for the second show. Like instead of, and then you see the same kids who were there who took the train in, and they're like just dying, they're gross and fucking, they've been sitting around in like on the dirty streets for hours, waiting for the other show to start. So there was definitely, when I was there, like there's definitely that feeling of like, well, I don't have to be here because I have my house, and especially where I was, it's a 10-minute walk to the Irving Plaza. So like that was just like, do I want to sit through this, or can I could just go home and like sit in my bed, like, so that was definitely a part of me leaving early. Last time I'll defend myself.
All right, I think you've saved yourself well. One more person. Little John has thing to say about this. What do you have to say, Little John, about that?
Everybody!
I'm gonna have to turn Little John down. I won't
Turn down for what?
Yeah, turn down for what?
Pun.
All right. Well, I'm turning down Little John for the Crown Royal whiskey.
Oh, you want to switch?
I will. No, I'll go into the bar and.
Jesus, man, we can't keep money in your wallet. It's so hard to help this guy and not spend money. It's impossible.
All right. I'll drink the Crown Royal.
Yay! It's time to switch gears now.
You're trying to get me to throw up, aren't you?
I
You
love
thought
it.
it would be funny.
You know I love when you
I thought
vomit
it'd be
all
funny
over
if
my
I
chest.
throw up
Yes.
on the mic.
It's hot when you do that. It's very sexy when you do your best show ever. That's a direct quote from you at the Pennywise show. All right, let's switch over to get some news going right now. Music news here. You guys like the Rage Against the Machines? Singing like a dork. The Rage Against the Machines, you know them? A little hit band that likes to talk politics and rap and all that stuff. But seems here that Rage Against the
Zachary
Machine
guy.
bassist has apologized for Limp Bizkit. Now, towards the end of Limp Bizkit's set in New York City at Best Buy Theater last year, the group launched into Rage Against the Machine's 1992 classic, Killing the Name of, a song they've covered more than 100 times. And Fred Durst said, quote, which I want to get his voice down. How does he talk?
You're not going to be able
This
to
is
do it.
dedicated to the rap rock band that started this shit, y'all. Before the opening verse.
You get loud when you do impressions.
And later on in the song, Durst added, "When I first heard this song, this shit hit me right fucking here." And he pointed at his heart. And the next part, which Rage Against the Machine, Zach De La Rocha's repeated screams of "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me to." He says, "Changed my life, y'all. I'm feeling those lighters." He didn't say that. I'm just kidding. So, as Rage Against the Machine bassist Tim Commerfeld tells Rolling Stone during a soon-to-be-published in-depth interview, the feeling is not mutual. And he says, quote, which let me get here. I do apologize for Limp Bizkit. I really do. I feel really bad that we inspired such bullshit. They're gone though. The musician adds, apparently unaware that the band still tours. That's a beautiful thing. There's only one left, and that's Rage. And as far as I'm concerned, we're the only ones that matter. Comforter also reminisced about one of the most notable moments in rock, crashing the stage and climbing the backdrop during Limp Bizkit's MTV Music Awards speech in 2000.
Oh, they direct Limp Bizkit's speech. Oh, that was during Limp Bizkit's speech?
Yes.
That they climbed that thing?
No, you remember that.
So this is like a dual thing. Now they're like, they have band beef now?
He has beef with
This
him.
is like the second time.
Yeah, 15 years later, as Durst and company took the stage to accept Best Rock Video for Break Stuff, beating out Rage Against the Machine's song Sleep Now in the Fire, which I think is a better song, but that's just me.
They got band beef.
Comerford perched himself 20 feet in the air, swaying the giant backdrop while a team of security and stagehands looked on bemused before climbing after him.
He was raging against the machine. I remember because it was like the ticker. It was like the ticker, like ticker tape, not ticker tape parade, but like stock ticker. It looked like a stock ticker, and they were climbing on it.
So he's
Yeah,
reminiscing
good
about
shit.
that event, and he says it's like a fine wine. About the incident, what was uncomfortable and a little bit bitter in 2000 now is I savor it. I get more people that come up to me now. Back in 2000, it was like, dude, I saw you do that. What was that all about? Now it's like, dude, I saw you do that. That was so fucking awesome. I loved it. And it feels more comfortable now to talk about it. Asked if he had any regrets about the stunt which found the bassist arrested for disorderly conduct and spent the night in jail, Comerford admitted only one thing. He said, "I wish I would have swung on that thing and brought it to the ground and just destroyed it," he says. If I could do it all over again, I would have ripped the thing to the ground and shredded it, which I think if he did that, it would have just gave more attention to the Limp Bizkit song Break Stuff. So, what do you think? Let's ask you, Stu. What do you think of that whole thing about him having a issue with Limp Bizkit now in 2015?
Oh, they have an okay. The bassist has an issue with Limp Bizkit. Rage Against the Machine's bassist has an issue with Limp Bizkit.
So,
Okay.
yeah. What do you think about that? That's crazy, right? I don't want to sway you. What do you really think of it?
Is it because Limp Bizkit is passively trying to be dicks to them by
Nope.
covering their song?
I think what I said with the little horrible impression I did is I think they want to pay tribute to a band that
Yeah, okay.
ignited their career, I should say.
Yeah, so I don't understand why there should be beef. It's a misunderstanding. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Snarky Mark, what do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I mean, my whole, I just so like, who gives a fuck this year about that? But
It is a long time ago.
yeah, it's so long ago. Like for this guy who argue Rage Against the Machine didn't exist for like the last 10 years. Like they got back together like a couple years ago, right? Like
2011 they started touring. Now they don't exist anymore.
yeah, and they haven't put out an album in this is a long time.
Yeah, but then again, I'm a Inside Out fan, so which was his band before Rage Against the Machine.
Man,
So I'm
bringing it back.
way dated.
But it's
So I remember all that old shit.
But this whole thing to me is just, it seems like one of these things where nowadays, like, any kind of news, like, everything is so, the way that news is, and, like, especially entertainment news, like, you'll see all of a sudden there's, like, I saw this story posted, like, 800 times on my Facebook feed, where it's, like, all these news organizations are reposting this, like, this fucking guy is slamming Limp Bizkit. And it's like, first of all, like I said, who cares? But it's because they're just trying to get clicks, and they're just trying to get a headline and like a soundbite out of the whole thing. So, it's like they try to make this big news out of it. And I'd love to hear the actual interview of him talking about it, because it's literally like maybe 4 sentences that he's actually saying anything about this. But I'd love to hear like the actual conversation where he's like, "Oh yeah, that shit was awesome. I do apologize for Limp Bizkit. Like, fuck them." Like he's probably drunk in the back of a bar talking to someone like you who's like interviewing him like so what about that time you did this one thing I read on your Wikipedia page, you did this thing, I was too young to even remember it probably. And then he fucking has this 5-sentence explanation, and then it turns into like a huge deal, which
Well, I don't know. I think the two bands aren't even in the same class, though.
yeah, well,
I don't think they're in the same class. I think Rage Against the Machine is a little bit they're a little bit higher up
In the
as
bullshit
far as,
category?
yeah, band repertoire.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's fine.
No, you can have a cigarette.
Yeah.
Can I bum a cigarette from you? What's your name? Margaret. Stu. Nice to meet you.
Mark, and my name is Jarrell. We are just recording a podcast here, talking about Limp Bizkit. You obviously are saying you like Limp Bizkit better than Rage Against the Machine. Stu?
We're recording through microphones into
Oh shit! I forgot to push
phone
record
for a show.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's a podcast, like a radio show.
So, Stu, you actually like Limp Bizkit better than Rage Against the Machine? I want to get that
No,
on
the
record.
other way around.
Okay, thank God. I was about to dive. I was about to dive on him, but I'm gonna say I'm in between both of you in my opinion. I think this is so long ago, and as much as Limp Bizkit has killed rap rock, because nowadays if a band does a rap rock song, no one gives a fuck. It's like, this is not impressive. But back in the day when you heard like Public Enemy and Anthrax song or that Judgment Night soundtrack,
Judgment Night, yeah,
that was amazing. You got like fucking Biohazard and Onyx, and you had to do a song, and you had like Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam do a song together. Never heard that before. Yeah.
Sorry.
Now when a band does like rock and rap together, like even like the band that Gym Class Heroes, they did that. No one gives a fuck. It's like, who cares? So Limp Bizkit buried that shit, put it in the ground, nail in the coffin. They killed rap rock with their horrible frat boy sound. It's bullshit. But that was fucking 15 years ago. So who gives a fuck now, like Mark said. So this whole thing, what he was saying, I think that is just to get like attention. I don't know, but this guy's way too bitter. And the fact that he went on the stage, what did you think about the whole thing when he climbed on the thing in the first place? I thought it was bullshit at the time.
I was slightly offended, but then I looked at the artwork, and then I did see it was a stock ticker, and I was like, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, I'll let him pass with that one.
The way
just because it was like, it was artistic. It wasn't just destruction.
Yeah. Well, the way I feel about it was like, I was like, yeah, like, you didn't get the award, but who gives a shit about a fucking MTV Music Award? He basically Kanye West before Kanye West did it, and it's like when Kanye West did it, it's like who gives a fuck? It's just a plastic moon man. Who gives a shit? Why
It's
do you
plastic?
care?
You think it's plastic?
So I originally thought that he climbed up there as a joke, but if he really was mad he didn't get an award for the song, like you're a fucking bitch, dude. So I don't know. What?
Did he actually give a reason for why he climbed? I think what you just read was like he's just like, yeah, like people now think that's kind of cool. I just wanted to bring it like I wish I brought it down, but I didn't because I was just kind of like whatever about it all. Like I feel like when he did it, it was just sort of like in the spirit of fun and maybe just like kind of poking fun and taking a little bit away from Limp Bizkit's moment at the time. And also at the time, you got to remember like there was that whole like soy bomb. Like remember that soy bomb at the that was at like at the Oscars or something, right? Like with like Neil Young's performance or someone's performance at the Grammys or at somewhere. But like at the time, that was like a thing, like bombing award. Like obviously now Kanye West kind of owns the monopoly on it, but like, but yeah, like that's sort of like that's one of those things where you're like that's why people watched the shows back then, and now why? I mean, not why they're not watching now, but I just sort of, at the time I remember thinking like, oh, he's just like trying to like do something fun to like liven up the shit and like maybe take away from them a little bit because whatever. But it's not like it's not like he came up and was like, I'm from Rage Against the Machine, we deserve this fucking album, and then climbed up the thing and was like, yeah, fuck you guys, like it was more like
he didn't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. It was more like when I don't know, trying to think of a comparable thing, but I don't know, like anything, any just fun,
like
MTV,
Tom Cruise jumping on the couch.
Yeah, like any fun awards moment of just like, hey, let's just have some fun, like Trey from
Maybe
Green
not.
Day climbing on the Universal Studios globe, or like Courtney Love climbing up on the. It's like adding to the moments of the great. Like I could be on the greatest hits compilation that they'll show. Like that. I just yeah.
I didn't think about that. All right, so that's fair. So basically, it was just like because he said he was drunk at the time when he did it. So and he got in jail. So maybe it was just like a sporadic moment. Like Kanye West was drunk too when he was like, "Yeah, I feel like I should have got they should got the award, huh?" And so it's different, I don't know. So I have another news story we'll get to, but the bad thing about doing podcasts outdoors as it gets closer to winter is it gets too dark where I can't actually read my notes.
You need a light? Oh, there's a light?
Is a light?
Oh, awesome.
Oh, so I guess we can record here still. Let's see if it works out.
Okay.
Let me see if I can read this one, because I got to ask you this question, Stu, because it actually affects our like shows in general. But YouTube is reportedly set to launch a 2-in-1 subscription service.
Oh, I knew it. With all the shit.
Can I
I'm
read it
posting,
first? Damn.
I knew it.
I got this from Billboard actually, and it said the letter from YouTube to its scores of content creators has fueled speculation that Google is planning to launch an ad-free 2-in-1 subscription service next month. As Recode points out, YouTube's letter essentially tells producers to agree to new terms by October 22nd, or their videos will be taken offline. Did you get this letter, Stu?
No, I did not get this letter, so I'm glad you got this letter.
I didn't get the letter either.
Oh, you didn't get the letter either?
This is just a news story. So maybe we don't have to worry about this, but...
Well, that's why I didn't go with SoundCloud. SoundCloud, it wasn't
not
free.
to besmirch the great SoundCloud.
I do like SoundCloud. But, SoundCloud, I have 2 hours of music on there, and you know what? I keep it at 2 hours because it's free.
Yeah.
2 hours. Any more than that, forget it.
Okay, so
You gotta pay for it.
they say the outcome would be a loss for YouTube, a loss for the thriving presence you've built on the platform, and above all, a loss for your fans. According to the reports, YouTube is looking to bundle two services under one subscription, an all-you-can-eat video offering, and its music key streaming service, which has been in beta since November.
Okay, I can see that.
The bundled videos and music service is rumored to have a price point of $10 a month, which is considered on a low end since that is what a fully realized Music Key service has expected to cost. As previously noted, Music Key will enable offline and ad-free listeners of music videos, playlists, and songs, as well as a Pandora like endless playlist com- component based on a listener song or artist choice. Details are scarce on the video's specific tier, aside from it being sans ad. At a conference in July, YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki said they had learned a lot of things from a set of very heavy music users during Music Key's ongoing beta period. She was short on specifics, but did say we have plans to launch later this year. So I'm a little worried that they're gonna take our shit away if we don't say something. But we didn't actually get a letter, so we don't have anything to worry about. You're saying, right?
Oh, sorry, I'm throwing something out.
I don't want them
No,
to
I
take
didn't
our
get a
content
letter.
away. We're working really hard on this shit.
I didn't get a letter. Yeah, and I don't want them. I don't want YouTube to stop letting us upload videos.
So how about this? If they give us a letter, let's just comply with it. Whatever. Just say yes. It's cool. We'll do that.
Yeah,
Mark has
Well,
something to say.
all they're asking for is advertising.
Well, the thing is, I think that this probably only applies to the people who are making like money off of YouTube. You know,
Wow.
like the YouTube.
Oh, you mean the people with actual viewers?
Yeah.
You mean people that actually? Yeah, unlike us, there's people actually listening to other content. All right.
Yeah, but like like I don't know. I'm not like. There's like Jenna Marbles, I think is
Oh
one,
yeah.
or like Rhett and Link, like the people who are actually like making bank off of YouTube. You know, they're making their living from that.
Yeah, there
You know,
should be advertising for them.
Exactly. You know, like it's an interesting way. Like I think they've done a really great job of like providing.
Oh yeah.
you know,
YouTube's
home for-
amazing. Yeah.
And so this just seems like they're. I mean, I don't know what the new terms of agreement are. Or I kind of spaced out in your whole reading of that fucking thing.
Blah 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 blah.
But so I don't really understand the whole thing. But it's what they have some sort of music streaming service now, and they're going to be doing an ad-free option to pay, like a pay subscription. All right, so like I mean I don't see how that's necessarily a bad thing, because as long as they're still paying the content providers, because that's the whole thing is that it's people like you and me who provide the content for YouTube, so like they're only as good as the people who are on there. So I think that's the good thing about YouTube is that they actually rely on the people to be happy to keep content going.
It does suck listening to the same commercial. If you're trying to listen to a
Oh,
full
yeah.
album, you're listening to the same commercial at the beginning and end of every song.
Yeah,
And it drove me nuts today. I was like, why am I not on Spotify? Why am I dealing with this?
So
crap?
so you use this YouTube streaming music thing?
Yeah,
What,
just regular YouTube,
okay.
and it just has regular YouTube
Oh,
just
okay.
has advertising.
I gotcha.
If I had a subscription, I wouldn't have to
Mm-hmm.
watch
Yeah, well,
a
that's-
commercial.
That's the thing. Like now, I am a Hulu Plus subscriber, and Hulu recently has introduced a new ad-free experience. Which I mean, when I first started, like I subscribed to it. Now you pay $7.99, the same thing kind of as Netflix, to watch videos, but they have ads on them, like at the commercial breaks for TV, because they're more geared towards television. Now there's no ads during their movies. But yeah, if you're watching a TV show at the break where there would normally be a commercial, there's going to be maybe one or two ads.
Yeah.
And now they have this new thing where like you can pay to not have any ads.
Yeah, then you could throw a party and have YouTube playing.
Yeah.
And you won't have to worry about irritating your fellow
Mhm.
partiers with commercials.
Yeah. I mean, so Jarrell, so what's your take on this? Because you just read the whole thing. So like, I want to know what your op-ed voice on this is, because to me it seems like no big deal. Like, okay, I'm not going to pay for YouTube, but does that mean that then like the regular YouTube experience is going to be like
They're gonna make it shittier.
it's going to be way shittier with more ads? Like, what do you think?
All right, the thing I'm worried about is we're the we're the producers, and we put stuff on YouTube, and I don't want them to take our stuff away unless we comply to their letter. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Oh yeah.
We didn't get a letter.
yeah. Oh, that would suck.
So
Uploading everything.
by October 22nd, I don't know what's going to happen to what we're putting on. But if nothing happens, great, I don't care. But on the other side of the fence, as a person that goes to YouTube, I can sit through a 30-second ad and go to what I want. I don't give a shit. Or when it says you can skip this ad in 3, 2, 1, skip the ad. I don't care. Like,
Well, a
it's not
lot
big
of
deal to
times they
me.
don't have that skip thing.
Yeah, but how
They'll
long do you
probably
have to
get-
wait?
They'll
20
probably get rid
20
of the skip,
seconds?
and you'll have to watch it.
It's just 20 seconds, dude. How busy are you when you
Oh,
don't have 20 seconds to
How
get
many
your time?
laundry detergent commercials do I have to watch?
I don't know. I wish we had those ads too, honestly, because I want to make bank on this thing as well. So
Well, I took. Oh, no, go on.
I was gonna say I will say that I mean I have a couple friends, well, acquaintances, people I went to high school with that are actual like became like somewhat YouTube famous, to where like
you know PewDiePie personally. You're saying?
yeah, me and PewDiePie go way back in my Swedish days, but no like whatever no need to name drop
where,
any of it.
where would Annoying Orange be now?
Exactly right, or those little Quiznos things. But yeah, I know that there's a certain level where if you reach a certain amount of subscribers or like current consistent views, they will ask you to join their program of like they'll start sending you checks for things, But I know that like anybody, obviously I have a YouTube channel where I have a couple videos uploaded that have 60 views total over the last 6 years, so. They're not going to start sending me checks because people watch my videos.
Yeah, here's your check for a nickel.
No,
you're gonna waste your time going to the bank to cash that shit.
Exactly. Now I haven't checked and see if there's any. If you go on, is there an ad there? I don't know. If there is an ad on that video, I do think I would deserve to get paid for that. Obviously, that's how it should work. Like, so do you know if because that's how I guess you should go about it. Is if they are putting ads on your videos, then you should probably get part of that revenue. That's the whole thing. So but I think if they're only putting at least for the time being, and I don't know if this new terms of agreement will change that, but for the time being, they're only putting ads on videos for people who get a certain amount of views or have a certain level of subscribers.
So I think we got to worry about that when we get famous. We got 4 subscribers right now. We are climbing, dude.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna figure out how it goes. So, with that in mind, Stu, can you find out if there's a way we could get some lighting in here, out here?
She
go.
went in. And...
The lady came back out. She said that they're gonna go on automatically when it gets dark enough.
Okay, so
I think it's dark enough.
Yeah. Maybe don't have it.
Yeah,
they don't have
must
it
be a
set.
timer.
They don't have it set on the what's it called? Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
But whatever. All right, let's try to work this out. Okay, wait a minute. I think our Little John has something to say. What? What did I say, Little John? Of course. We've been neglecting you for a while. He said everybody's, Marky.
I took a shot of beer.
Okay.
I finished my Hennessy already.
Real cute. Okay, so I guess that means the Patron's next for you, huh?
Maybe with a little salt.
All right. Let's get to the review portion of the show now.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. We've been having a good show. We're talking a little while, but I guess it's going a little too long for my co-hosts and people out there.
We got 3 people. It's going to stretch the content.
All right, so we're gonna review first the latest album from Silver Sun Pickup, which is why you are here, Marky. And Marky is a big fan of the band. Listen to all their albums, and the reason I think it's gonna be a good interview because we got Stu here, who's not really familiar with the band that much,
And a pessimist.
myself, who has heard all the 4 albums but never really got I bleed Silver Sun Pickup like blood. I don't know what color their blood is, but. And I'll follow them to the end of time. And we got Mark here, who's a diehard fan. So, whatever the opinion is at the end of the day, you got to listen to Mark's, because that's what matters.
Oh, thanks.
So, this album is called Better Nature, and they're a Los Angeles indie rock shoegaze band, formed in 2002. Let me know if I'm wrong on anything. They're like a dream pop sound that's compared to Smashing Pumpkins and My Bloody Valentine. And after their debut EP, they released their first full-length album, Carnivus. Am I saying it right?
I guess.
Carnivus in 2006, which features the biggest hit song, Lazy Eye. And Silver Sun released 2 more albums, Swoon and Neck in the Woods, in 2009 and 2012, respectively. Mark and I used to listen to Neck of the Woods when we worked at that CD store back in the day. Do you remember what you said about that album, Mark?
Yeah, at the time it was definitely a departure from the first two albums, and I think this new one is definitely a bigger departure. Um, just started with the last one, Neck of the Woods. They definitely started introducing a little more electronic noises into it and more synth stuff, and just like a broader sound, less guitar based, which is sort of the one thing that is about this album and about the last one that I definitely like is a drawback for me because of the first two albums, their guitar sound is what I was really drawn to.
You don't like the electronic sound as much?
I mean,
I did hear a Dave Smith synthesizer in there.
I mean, well, I mean, I'll give you the full thing, but I mean, I've got nothing against electronic rock bands, or just electronic music in general. I mean, I was in a band that we used synth we played to a DAT machine, and we had drums and synth sounds on that, and I would play guitar to it. I mean, I'm not a stranger or a hater on electronic rock music, but there's definitely like a band like this. Like I came to the first two albums are definitely more for the guitars, and I feel like the last two albums and this one especially, it's like what they did with guitars for the first two albums, they're trying to do with synths now, which is like this drony shoegaze sound.
I sometimes I call that overproduced.
Yes, definitely.
I was gonna say, do you remember I asked you when we were working together? You said you probably don't remember because it's a long time ago, but what I remember what Mark said, which when I went to this album is he's like the last album you could put on and listen to in the background and do whatever. It's good music to listen to, and just go about your business and do your chores or whatever like that. It's background noise. So he didn't knock it a bad thing, but he was just saying that. So I feel what we can do on this album, which by the way is their fourth album, and it's their
I normally do my laundry to dubstep.
and it's the first album released on their own label, New Machine Records. So let's go through kind of each track, and I'll ask you guys what you thought of each song. Not every song because it's 11 tracks. No, not too many songs, but I just wanted your opinion. So the first track, which Mark was saying, which is called Cradle (parentheses) Better Nature. It's got like a sort of Radiohead vibe to it, being that it's like more abstract with heavy use of electronic sounds, synthesizers, and drum machines. And I think I heard a guitar solo in there for about 4 seconds. So, what do you think of that song, Stu? Let's ask Stu first.
Oh, you're asking me what? I was just about to step out for a urination.
Okay.
What do I think of that?
I'll actually go.
The first song.
Yeah, I'll go on and then you'll come back to you then. But what do you think of did you notice a electronic sound like what Mark was talking about?
Yeah, it's only slight. It's like the producer put it in. It wasn't even like the band. Like I don't even know if they do that live. Like maybe they just have samples. But I'm sure they don't have like a keyboardist. I mean, maybe they do. Do they?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
A person stops playing one instrument and plays the keyboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
But
well, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Okay, so you didn't notice. You noticed it. Give me some more light, please, and I'll just go with my review. And when you get back from your urination, we'll go on.
All right.
So, I really, actually, did you notice that, Mark?
Yeah, I mean,
With the first song anyway?
The album on a whole is way more electronic than their previous stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first song, I like. I like the first track. It definitely. I texted you, the album's growing on me.
Right, yeah.
The first listen is I didn't like it. I didn't like the first, I didn't like the second. I had heard the single, Nightlight.
Okay, we'll get to that song, go
on. But that's the only song I had heard from it. And that song, I feel like, from hearing that, I kind of hoped that it would be a little more towards their older sound.
Right.
I've got some opinions on this album.
Okay.
So let's just go. I guess
let's just keep going. Keep going.
I mean, I definitely don't remember every single song by its title,
but after the first song, the second song, I really like the dance electronic bass lines, which is a song called Connection, and it sounds nothing like I've heard from the band before. But like we said earlier, I wasn't listening to all their stuff like you did, so I heard that song. I'm like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah, I'll say.
But I like that song.
Second song, don't like.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Wow.
I listened to it on the way here. I didn't listen. I didn't do a full album listen, but I skipped through it. I listened to the first couple tracks that I was kind of unfamiliar with, and then I kind of skipped through and fast forwarded through a couple other ones just to remind myself of the album because it's been maybe about a week since I really gave it a good listen. But yeah, definitely my feeling on the album as a whole is that it gets better as it goes along.
Yeah.
And I'm like the first song I dig, and then the next 2 or 3 I'm not really that big on.
Yeah,
And
like
I-
what did you think of the like we were just saying the next song after that, Pins and Needles?
Yeah.
Like I think that song sounded more like their sound, but I found it was a little bland and uninspiring though.
Yeah,
That was me.
Like I'll say this, the when the first listen, because I bought this album at the store I work at,
Yes.
and listened to it on my way home because I have
Mhm.
an hour drive home. So like I pretty much listened to the whole thing. I'll say like the beginning to like the first couple tracks, I was like so mad and sad about listening to it. I was like, this sucks. Like I'm really not
Wow.
I'm not digging this.
I felt the opposite.
Doesn't
I was
sound
like
them.
I was kind of enjoying like the first like there was stuff like I didn't enjoy. And there was stuff I really did, which we'll
Mhm.
get into later. But like I wasn't like fuck this album on by track 4. You seem like you were like that.
Oh
one.
yeah, I was like fuck this album. Like I was seriously fuck this album.
So I know one song that we both agree on that we both didn't like is the filler track "Friendly Fires."
Yeah.
Was probably like after maybe the 4th song, I don't know, but the song you mentioned earlier, "Nightlight,"
Mhm.
I like. It's like it's got like a mellow grungy tune. It's kind of like it could have come out of Seattle in 1992.
Yeah.
And I really love the bass during the sing along refrain towards the end. And speaking of bass, the bassist is her name is Nikki Moninger. She sings lead vocals on the song, which is next called "Circadian Rhythm" (parentheses Last Dance) to give the song like a shoegaze Pixies vibe.
Yeah.
And I think her voice is beautiful and it mirrors the track really well. I just wish the song was a little bit longer. That's my only complaint.
Yeah,
So I
mean,
think at that point in the album is when you started liking it more, right?
Yeah, Nightlight is pretty good, but like I said, like I kind of was a little indifferent towards it at this point because it's one of the songs that they've been playing in my store for a month now. So it's like, all right, I know this one backwards and forwards.
Right.
It's pretty good.
But the next song is when it really,
And
I
then,
thought it
yeah,
was really good,
Like
yeah.
I said, that circadian rhythm I liked, and then the following one. What did you? Hey, we have
Hey.
light here. Oh man.
Awesome.
So.
7:20. We got to mark that, you guys. 7:20, the lights come on.
So yeah. So what did you think of the following song, Tape Deck?
Tape Deck, I did not write any notes to that, so that obviously means it did not inspire me whatsoever.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do you think, Stu? Tape Deck.
Tape deck. It
Yeah.
sucked.
Okay, great.
You had to pass the mic for me for that.
I'm going to pass the mic to Stu to tell me it sucks.
sucked.
But then the next song, Latchkey Kids,
Which was good.
was aggressive song, great, which is used background keyboards, well done in the chorus. Basically, it's like Silver Sun's doing what they do best, but firing on all cylinders.
Do they sell their music for commercials?
You think they should?
So
They
I'd
should.
imagine
They
they-
should
they
sell
would
out like
be-
that.
Yeah, if they sold out like that, they would be great stock music. As far as someone that worked in post production, like a lot of their songs would do really good as little cut up clips in commercials and whatnot.
What do you think about that?
I would definitely say this album, and I think they might have had something from the last album of being a commercial somewhere, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I definitely think this album lends itself to that. Definitely, like I feel that, like I'm looking at the album cover right now. It's got like a little like sunset, desert feel. I feel like that's sort of like you can see them like driving a car and like
That's what I want to talk about the last song, but let's talk about the song you were talking about earlier, Stu.
Ragamuffin?
Ragamuffin, because
Oh,
I thought the
Ragamuffin.
song, for me, was kind of like this is long and kind of boring, but I'm just worrying about the lyrics. Do you think the lyrics are about like the Katrina when they're talking about like the waves and shit like that, destroying the towns and stuff like that?
Well, here's the thing with Silver Sun Pickups is they're not a band that I really focus on lyrics with. And that sort of maybe is why you maybe dug the sounds of this one a little bit more, is because but to me is like I was disappointed at first because they're more of a band of like feeling that I honestly say I don't think I paid attention to any of the lyrics on this one. It's just not something I do. Maybe in general I don't really listen to lyrics, but unless they're like I don't know. So yes, no, I don't.
Let's
You sing
injure
along with
WK. Then he
You
listens to
sing
lyrics.
along with them without any worry that they're saying anything dirty or politically incorrect.
Well, I will say that Jarrell may have mislabeled me as Die Hard, whereas they're a band that I like,
Okay,
and I'm a big fan of their first two albums, but even those two albums, like, other than maybe a handful of songs, I don't know if I could really recite any lyrics to you.
Ah.
They're just not a band that I like. They're more about like I like they're good, like they got a good vibe. I dig their vibe. I mean I'm not So,
Usually, if I don't understand lyrics, I make my own.
okay, so I'd love to hear your version of a Fetty Wap song. 'Cause
Okay.
those fucking could not understand that shit at all.
All right, so like what you said before, the album cover has got like a sunset, which I was gonna say the last song, like the guy singer Brian's voice combined with like the uplifting instrumentation. The last song is called "The Wild Kind." It makes me envision like a bright sunny day while standing in the middle of a field. It's a great song, great closer.
Wait! You skipped over Ragamuffin.
Oh, you want me to know? I told you what I think. What do you think of the song?
Did you get the lyrics for Ragamuffin?
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought it was about. I thought it was about the
Katrina?
Katrina, yeah.
Really? But they
Yeah.
were talking about some ragamuffin following them home, and some ragamuffin not wearing.
Let's go with the first 4 lines. Mark's about to read the lyrics right now. First 4 lines of the song.
Here on the summit we cried, tears down the mountainside,
All right.
waves crashing over the roads and down to bury our home. Enough to bury our home.
Wait. Okay, skip ahead to where the ragamuffins following them home,
All right, let's see,
and he's not and he doesn't have the right clothes on. They're not ragged.
Let's see. Fighting fires with water guns, this ragamuffin has swallowed enough. Flags
Yeah,
are
see
down.
that? They don't like the ragamuffin.
The engine has failed, and there's nowhere to run. Covered your tracks So how would you know this ragamuffin wants to follow you home? Let's speed away like it's our lives on the line.
Dude, sounds like the ragamuffin's got a machete and he's out to freaking kill
I
someone.
feel like you're literally about to cry right now. That's so deep. Let's get to the
All right,
closing
maybe I'm
thing
wrong.
right now.
Yeah,
so
it is deep. I can't.
we're going to go in
believe
order
this
here,
anymore.
basically from the casual listener to the diehard fan. Stu, what's your final rating on this album?
Final rating. I would have to say a download it. I believe it had an uplifting sound to it. I mean, very useful as far as post production, and yeah, it was all right. But there was parts of it I really didn't like, so that's why I say download
Okay.
it. And
That's fair.
a definite not buy it.
Well, I say the album is not perfect, like you say, but even the songs I didn't particularly like had enjoyable moments. Silver Sun Pickups have once again successfully produced an album to complement any mood. So I say this is an album that you should, I guess, buy. Marky, what do you think?
Well, being the diehard fan, I mean, I definitely had some complicated feelings. Like, as you were in the Stu, you were away. I was telling Jarrell, like, the first listen, like, the first couple tracks, I was like, this fucking sucks. I hate this. This doesn't sound like them. It's garbage.
I had the opposite the first couple.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
Because I never really listened to them. Yeah. And you're already a fan.
But I would say re-listening to it, it's definitely something that I've listened to it a few times, and I still feel the same way that I did the first time, because I thought I would be, maybe it was just, but as you go deeper into the album, I feel like it definitely, they come into themselves a little more, and they like, because it's definitely a different sound for them from their previous stuff. And I feel like as the album goes on, it's almost like they figure out what they want to do with the new sounds they're working with, and it definitely works a little bit better than on the last album. It was sort of like this weird disjointed.
Nothing.
Okay. So anyway, So overall, I'd say, I think it's a buy it. I'd say, like, there's maybe. Out of the 11 tracks, there's maybe 3 or 4 that I don't necessarily like. I think are just kind of boring, but I don't necessarily hate them at this point. But I think the album, like, the last 3 songs are really, like, the strongest overall on the album. but like I'd say like the first track is good. The next 2 or 3 are kind of whatever, and then like Nightlight is a pretty solid single.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a good track.
Circadian Rhythm, pretty good. Tape Deck is garbage, but then the last 3 I think really make it like a pretty decent record overall. Buy it. I dig it.
All right, so that's the final review right there. But what did you guys think of the album? If you heard this album, let us know in the comments, or you can send us an email because we love to know what you think. All right, so it's time again. You brought your own shots? Oh, you want me to drink that? Okay. Oh, those are for you.
Yeah, these
I got you. What did you get, Stu?
my shots.
What is that?
I got. I can't even say because we've used this so many times on the show. It is Fireball. Fireball.
All right, so another toast to Stu reproducing the same shots we always do. The Crown Royal is not bad. I'll give you that.
I don't know what we could do for a graphic for the show.
I already took a picture. Don't worry about it. I got it.
You already took the picture. What is it? A picture of shooters?
Yep.
Should have got some rum chata.
You should have
Then I
sucked
could
my
have had a
dick.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Next up,
I wanna
Fetty
suck
Wap,
your dick, bitch.
self-titled album, which he's a local rapper from Patterson, New Jersey.
Patterson
Started
been there.
rapping in 2013 and later added singing to his style. And this is his debut album, like I said, and it's an extremely popular and highly overplayed song. Trap Queen is featured on the album, which it's the first song that starts the album, and this song has become the bane of my existence due to this repetitive trap beat and his irritating voice.
I didn't think it was trap that much. I thought it was just straight hip hop, even though they're trying to market it as trap. And we went over this definition of trap.
Yeah,
before.
we're gonna. Mark's gonna solve this all right
Mark's
now.
gonna solve the
What is
definition
this
of
trap music or not?
Just because it says trap
okay,
queen,
from the
that's the
songs?
queen. The queen's
Are we
doing
talking
trap.
about- we're talking about just the Trap Queen song.
No, we're talking about the genre of the whole album.
The whole album I don't think is trap.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm wrong then.
Trap
has
Queen I
elements.
think has some trap beat in it.
Yes.
But,
okay.
and,
all right,
and
thank
there's
you.
touches of it, but I don't think as a whole that it's
Because
like,
I know
I don't think he's a trap artist, a trapeze artist.
it's hip
So
hop.
have you heard
It's hip-hop.
Future or any people like even Meek Mill? Have you heard their albums?
The new ones I'm not too familiar with. I listen like here's my take on it is that we play. There's a CD that we have to play in the store that's got like the latest and greatest garbage on it, and I definitely probably have heard some songs from these guys. I know we've sold a ton of the Future CD and a ton of the Meek Mills when it came out. I couldn't pinpoint that I've heard a single song off any of them.
Someone at my work was rapping Meek Mill's right after we did the review.
Yeah.
In the bathroom at my work.
So this is gonna be
And
an
I
ongoing.
thought it was pretty funny.
It's gonna be an ongoing debate with me and you. We got to get a person that knows trap music.
No, I've
that
told
will
you. I already
explain.
looked up the definition on the internet, and it is not what you think.
So let's go on then. We'll argue later about that.
All right.
So the another song I
It's
want to
more
talk
EDM.
about is How We Do Things, which is a complete mess with Fetty overdubbing his voice in the background throughout the most of the track. It sounds so bad, I can't even tell if this is a joke or not. This one features a verse by a guy named Monty who saves the song during his all too brief guest spot, but the track is already DOA from the start.
Really, you're saying this? It's not that great because
I'm
this is
saying-
way better than any of the other hip hop that we reviewed, except for Naughty by Nature.
When did we never know by nature? What year are we in?
Oh, wait,
Jesus
wait,
Christ.
no. Public Enemy. Sorry. I got the two mixed up.
Yeah, they're
Sorry, I'm
way alike. Yes.
Public Enemy. Public Enemy was great, but everything else we reviewed, this is like they're actually stretching the boundaries to something that might be decent.
Yeah, but
Almost
I didn't agree.
decent.
I do not agree with you whatsoever until the song 679 came on, which is
Alright.
probably like the fourth song on the album. And what a fucking turnaround on this track! It features Monty, like I said before, and P Dice, who are in a group called Remy Bros. Sorry, and this song is on fire. Great beat, excellent party track to pop bottles in the club. Also, want to add that their two features dominate Fetty Wap on this track, but they kill it on the verses compared to him. They just murder the track. They save it whatsoever. You remember that song, Stu?
Yeah.
All right, that was a good song. And then the next song I want to talk about called Jugs. Is it called Jug? Jug. Right?
Jugs like tits.
It's probably about like
I would've
drugs or
liked
something like that.
song.
Jug.
No, yeah, it's not about tits.
Jug is
That
a
would've been
decent. It's got a decent instrumental, but
It's been like two
it's
live
got a
crew.
terrible lyrics and it's
Talk
awful
about
singing
tits.
voice. Add in the part where Monty stretches out the last word each line for about 10 to 15 bars. Like he's like, "I be blood, babe. White, what do you say? White tea in my wait. Sorry, I'll say it. He said, "I be from the hood, babe. White tea in my blood, babe. I used to sell drugs, babe." It's almost makes me think that Trap Queen is like a masterpiece when I hear this fucking song. But speaking of trap, they have a song called "Trap Love," and the song's basically like, "I wake up, count money, get drugs, bitches love me." The end. You get the point.
Wait, I got a good one. Good
Oh,
one.
you do?
Can I might be skipping ahead.
Is it further on in the album?
Yeah, it's further on.
All right, go ahead. What's the song?
Straight up.
Straight up. Is it a Paula Abdul song?
A who?
Paula Abdul song?
Straight up now. No,
No.
no, but it was straight.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do
no,
you, I don't have some that. So you think of that song?
it was good.
Deep.
Is MC Scat Cat on this album?
What coming up? What coming down? He was good. Actually, I tracked the best part of the fucking song. That fucking cat. That cartoon cat.
Cartoon Cat. What song?
Paula Abdul song.
Oh, I don't.
You remember that? Cartoon cat was
I don't
great.
remember that.
What happened to him? He was good.
I don't,
Did he die?
I don't
'Cause
remember that. Is that-
Cat's only lived to be like 20 years old, and that song's like more than 20 years ago, so he's probably dead by now. Rest in peace, MC Scat Cat. Anyway, going on, the song he has like kind of like a trap R&B love song. Fetty Wap has a trap R&B song called "Again." Remember that song, Stu?
No, I just remember his eye being all weird.
We'll talk about that later. But at least it shows his romantic side with the fact that he repeats he'd go out of his way to please his love. But I think that song is pretty ironic in the fact that the next song, "My Way," he brags that he never chases a hoe. He's like a contradictory motherfucker. Motherfucker. I gotta say it
Fucker.
right.
Mudda.
Beat is good though. You could bump this song in the whip. I'll give you that. Then Monty is on this song on a lot of tracks on this album, which is a good thing. Because when Fetty fucks up a song to the point where it's unlistenable, Monty cleans shit up. For example, the song "Time" has a chilled out yet bouncy beat with the electric lead guitar sample, but once Fetty comes on, the song goes to shit. Mostly because he's sputtering his rhymes off beat, and you can't understand what he's saying for the most part due to mumbling. But when we get to Monty's verse, he slows down a bit, flows coherently, making the track slightly enjoyable. You remember that song? Do you have to agree? Do you notice on the track listing, Monty's been featured at least like 20 or 50 times on this album?
I just know he's a way better frontman than Travis Scott.
Oh, okay. Yes. True. Let's talk about the beats with the track "That's All Me." Remember that song, Stu?
Nope.
Okay. So let me finish this review.
I don't have
'cause
my
you remember
computer,
anything.
so normally I have my computer. I can look and
It's
see
all
it,
good,
and
it's all
I
good.
get the memory from looking at it.
It's all good.
I don't
I'll
have
do
the
it.
visual cues.
Well, "That's All Me" is a change of pace because I call this song "Snap Trap" because it's got the finger snaps here and there, which is slightly interesting at a point. I really wasn't sure if I could get it to the end of this album because I'm like, this song is kind of boring, but I don't know if I can finish it, but it kind of says it. But in a close distance, I saw Monty was going to appear again on the song "No Days Off." So I was like, surely he's going to recharge my interest in this album. But unfortunately, this one is so dull, not even his feature could save Fetty's this time. The next two tracks are just spinning its wheels in the trap music muck until the song Rock My Chain comes on.
You can't say hip hop music.
I'll say that. I won't say that because hip hop music is so broad, but this is what I think is trap music, so whatever.
It's not a subgenre. I'm telling you.
Spinning its wheels, bullshit. I love the distorted bass lines in the song Rock My Chain in the old school Dirty South piano keys. It kind of remind me of Three Six
There
Mafia.
you go. Dirty South. Yes, I do agree with that.
Yeah, it's that. Remember that song? It's kind of like Dirty.
Yeah.
3 6
No.
Mafia?
A lot of this reminded me of Dirty South.
3 6 Mafia?
Hip hop. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah. But not the whole album. I just thought certain songs were kind of like,
yes.
we're just going through the emotions, and then
Yeah,
a
it
good
was
song will
almost like
come on.
they were almost trying to follow that formula.
Okay, so final results. Stu, you go first. What do you think of this album? Because
Skip it. You know what? I
didn't even waste your time.
I do think
real quick.
I will speak. I will say skip it, but I will say that it's in the right direction. It's hip hop going in the right direction. If they just follow it through a little bit further, maybe another album in another couple months would be somebody else. Maybe Fetty Wap could do it again, and do it a little better. But I think it's the right direction.
All right. I agree with you because I will say what's wrong with this album. The first problem is he's a new rapper. He had a song that's a big hit, and then they said, "Oh, let's get him on an album real quick and put out music." The only problem is they put too many songs on this album, too many tracks, so it's just too much.
Yes, I was listening to it for a long
So that's-
time.
And the fact that he's a terrible singer, he has a terrible voice for the most part. He somehow was able to He somehow was able to carry a tune on the last track, which is called Rewind. But I think I agree with Stu. For the next album,
He had a really cool bird call though.
Yeah,
Did you hear? Yeah. No, it wasn't.
it wasn't
It was like-
Birdman.
No. It wasn't
Okay.
that one. Yeah. I can't do it.
Don't worry about it. Let me finish my thing.
I don't know. Yeah, he had a bird call.
I think for the next album,
He
like
had a bird call, and it
like
was
what you
pretty good.
said, for the next album, he should sing less and have more features. His rapping skills are pretty bad. Like 2 Chainz bad. However, the production on this album, I would say, is pretty good. It's pretty tight, I should say. If you have a nice system in your car and hate thinking, this album is perfect for you. Put this shit on, roll up a blunt, and go cruising. But I can't give this any more than a download. So I hate it, but I apparently liked it better than you, Stu.
Skip it.
Do you have an opinion on this album, Marky?
I have a really strong opinion on this album. Here's what I'll say. I did not listen to it as a whole album. I selected tracks on YouTube to listen to, and whatever the lowest rating you guys have, which is probably throw it in the trash or something. I would say lower than that.
Fucking ban it from. No. The
Wait,
lowest.
before I push the button,
you gotta tell him with the lowest.
I'm gonna say you're saying you're so angry this album exists.
Yes.
I'm gonna push this button. You sure?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So Marky says this is a fuck this.
Yes. Fuck this. Ban
Wow.
it from all existence.
I can see the anger in your face. You hate this guy.
Wait. Let him speak.
Yeah,
Let him
he's
speak.
got a story. Yeah, you're
pass
right.
the mic.
Yeah. So one of the tracks you didn't talk about that I had heard is apparently it's one of the bonus tracks on the deluxe version. It's called For My Friends or something like that. Shit like that. It sounds like special ed from Crank Yankers. Trying to do a song to what the fuck's his name? Kid Cudi. It's like Kid Cudi had a stroke. It's fucking god awful. The worst thing I've ever heard. Listening to this, I was because there's a girl that I work with who she's like, my ex-boyfriend scratched my Fetty Wap CD. I gotta buy a second one. That shit's banging. I listen to this and I lose all respect for her, as a human being on this planet. I kind of think that she has a decent head on her shoulders. The fact that she listens to this shit and bought a second copy just blows my fucking mind. It's god awful, terrible horseshit that I disagree with both of you for.
for us going soft, we went soft. Sorry, we went.
I mean, and so that's all I'll say about it. But I will also, I do have a kind of funny Fetty Wap story, which is that when I used to work in the Woodbridge Mall, and in our store we used to have like these little in-store events where we have bands or sometimes wrestlers come in and do signings, or there was one or two music performances. And it was something we started doing once, whatever. The store next door to us is DTLR, which is like an urban clothing store. And so at one point, they apparently... So the mall manager is this older woman. She comes into our store, and we're talking to her, and we're like, oh, like, what's going on? She's like, oh, next door, they want this guy, Fetty Wap, to come in. And, like, they want to close their store and do, like, a special event with him, like, and just, like, select people that they would, like, have a drawing for tickets or some shit. Come into their store. And we listened to his song. And let me tell you, I'm about to go over there and say the N-word. And then we looked at her like, what is it? And she goes, no. I'm going to say no. And we were like, you're a fucking idiot. But I just thought it was the greatest thing that, yeah, there you go. That's my story. But, yeah, Fetty Wap, just don't quit your day job is what I'm going to say. And I hope you die in the hospital.
Actually, he might, because you guys hear he was riding his motorcycle and he got hit by a car. Yeah, you heard that, Stu?
That's why he's in the hospital, right?
Yeah, he broke his leg in 3 places. Unfortunately, he didn't die.
So now he's gonna walk with a limp, and he's gonna look more gangster.
Yeah, with his fucking eye, like the glaucoma eye and shit.
That ain't glaucoma.
That's what he said on his Wikipedia page.
He said that was glaucoma.
Yeah.
That's so he could smoke weed.
His eye?
Yeah, he's lying.
Maybe he's
got some other fucking retarded shit.
You think he pull his eyeball out just so he can smoke weed?
No, that is not glaucoma. It glazes over like gray. His shit ain't gray. His shit is like flipped in the back of his head and like all red and shit.
I can't even look at his fucking face. Like when he does video, don't do fucking video.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Fetty Wap, don't do music videos anymore. You look like shit.
I thought his eye was kind of cool though.
I do have a legit question though. I mean, you're like the researcher, so can you tell me what 1738 is? Because he says it constantly.
Oh yeah. I was wondering that one.
I think that's his address in Patterson, New Jersey.
So we can go find him. We can go get him, right?
Let's get
that's his address.
I'll also say RGF Productions, like we be beefing, because I'm not a fan of the beats on this either.
You don't like the beats at all. The thing that's what my point is. You don't like trap music. I don't like it either.
See, the only thing I know about Patterson is that's where New Jersey's IDRC is. So if you get caught drinking and driving a bunch like me,
yes,
because I'm a fucking alcoholic.
Which we just established earlier, yes.
Yeah, and that's where you have to spend a weekend in a fucking hellhole in Patterson. And they make you watch movies about drinking and driving, and then they teach you drinking and driving shit. Yeah. That's where the IDRC center is, and they recoup you into a model citizen like myself now.
Well, I feel like maybe we're being too harsh on this album, but what do you guys think about this album? You can let us know in the comment section or send us an email. Can we know what you feel about this record? And I can pretty much let's.
No.
What do I have to say? Everybody! All right. Getting a little reckless here. Let's get to the final review of the night. Have you heard this, the Parkway Drive album? You have?
I listened to it.
Cool. So we got 3 on this here. Snarky Mark's going to give a guest appearance on the Parkway Drive album.
I never should have broke the seal.
Okay. Do we have to wait for you?
No. How could we do this timely?
We can't. Will me, Mark? We can chit chat, and then you can come back and we'll start.
Yeah, exactly. I might miss stuff though.
Give him the mic, so we'll just talk. We won't talk about the album.
Right. Give me a recap when you get back.
We'll just shit talk.
All right.
That's all we'll do.
Shit talk me?
Yes, we're gonna talk shit about Mark, about Stu.
Fucking bladder, this guy.
Stu, what an asshole, man! What a dick! Look at him, just in his fucking like shirt and shit, walking inside to piss.
The-
Why
the
didn't you just
nerve
pee out
of
here like
people
I
wearing
did?
T-shirts.
A little side note, you guys didn't see this, but I peed outside. It was pretty epic.
Well, maybe you're a shower. He's a grower. It's,
Yeah. Well.
white boy problem.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot of white boy problems out there,
Yeah.
So I didn't get to ask you, how's the wedding going?
slow and
Marky's
steady.
engaged, by the way.
Yeah, from last time, all you guys got engaged, and nothing's really happened. I mean, we've looked at some shit, but really this week is we're both taking off this week, and this is like our week to like sort of get a good start on like planning shit for the.
Do you have a date in mind, like a year? I should say?
The date that we picked originally was January 29th, 2017.
Okay, it's really long from now, but go on.
Yeah. Well,
Give you time to change your
it's
mind.
2016 coming up, so then like it'd be the following January.
Yeah. Nothing like a wedding in the winter. It's great.
Well, the whole thing is that, and this is good on me, which is like she also prefers like that's our anniversary date of like dating and everything.
Uh-huh.
So that was sort of the idea was like, let's just make it easy on ourselves to remember all the shit.
Yeah.
Like make it all the same day.
Okay.
But I mean, who knows? It's all kind of shifting and changing. And she wanted a winter wedding, but she's also kind of flexible on that. And everybody that she's told that is like, ooh, winter? Like,
Yeah.
You want to walk down the aisle and there's snow around? Like it's like everybody's got fucking opinions.
You're
let
like,
me tell you, it's
we'll be
bullshit.
indoors, stupid bitch. But still, you're like, I do.
But then again, I like the idea of an outdoor wedding and like not at like a church and all that kind of shit. Whatever. This is all shit that is boring. But
No, it's
we really haven't
forgot
had a
to
chance
ask you about that
plan too
earlier,
much
man.
because of my ridiculous stupid schedule, which is why I'm getting a new job so that we can actually like be on a similar schedule. So that way, when we're both home, we can talk about this shit and plan it and go visit places to like see where we could have a wedding. And so that's all coming up to be continued on that. I
Awesome.
guess.
Stu, did you get to drain your lizard?
That was quick.
They're cleaning the bath. Who's been in there? Oh, sorry.
There's nobody in the bar, and they are cleaning the bathroom.
Well, that's why you tell them like that's your excuse for pissing on the side of their building. Like
Yeah. My excuse, yes. All right, so anyway, Parkway Drive.
Parkway Drive.
It's time to review yet another metalcore album, this time from the band from Australia, Parkway Drive. They formed in 2003 and have released 4 albums previously. I heard the last album, which is called Atlas, which I guess was okay. I don't remember too much about it, but I know it didn't annoy me. So going into this 5th record, Ire, I must admit I'm a little...
Is it Irie?
I think it's Ire. I must admit I'm a little
Ire?
disinterested in being that...
It's
Go ahead, Stu.
Celt, right?
I mean, I thought just ire is like anger, like
Anger?
like I think that's a word. Like
All right, it's not like Celtic or
I
anything?
I do crosswords a lot, and that's like one of those words that they use
Oh,
sometimes.
I never heard it
It's
before.
like it's a good 3-letter word.
I
It has,
thought
like,
it was some Irish
important
shit.
letters in it.
All right, so Ire is the name of the 5th album, and I must admit, going into this, I was a little disinterested because being that a lot of metalcore bands I've heard this year are sticking to the same formula, but
Yes.
however, I read Parkway Drive does not use clean vocals, so maybe 50 minutes of screaming may be entertaining. So with the first track, Destroyer, having metal riffs reminiscent of Metallica, and the next song, Dying to Believe, having the speed and vocal styles of Pantera, I realized I was not in for the standard metalcore album. Let me talk about the song called Vice Grip, which has lead singer Winston McCall sounding like Roger Miret from Agnostic Front. It's got kind of an 80s metal style musically that is sure to get the crowd singing along live. Stu over here is a big fan of Agnostic Front. Do you remember that song? It's probably the 3rd song.
What
Yeah.
song?
Vice Grip.
Vice Grip? Yeah, that was a pretty good song.
So
I
did
liked
you?
Crush better.
I'm
You
getting
didn't
that.
mention that.
I'm
but
gonna get that.
sorry.
All right, we'll go on. I really like what Stu said. I really like Crushed. It's got like a neo metal feel to it, with like the bouncy verses and the dark industrial mood. The music sets the tone of that. This could have come out 15 years ago, but it still feels fresh and new.
I think they could have been a really good hardcore band, and they went too metal.
Too metal.
Too metal. They
What about you, Marky? What do you think of
a
the
great hardcore band?
like? You like the song "Crushed"?
Well, I don't necessarily remember them as individual song tracks.
Let me ask you this first: did you ever heard this band before?
No, I know that, like, working in a CD store, I've definitely heard of the band, but I lump them in a category, and I think rightfully so, of music I don't listen to.
Right, metalcore. Cause we do a lot of metalcore like reviews, but when I listened to this album, I felt like this is kind of different. Did you notice that?
I can't say that I'm familiar with the metalcore genre, so I don't know what, like, the typical tropes of what they fall into and what they typically would sound like.
A lot has been coming out metalcore.
Yeah,
a lot of albums.
I would say that this definitely just, I mean, to me, it was like, oh, I was not wrong about what this would sound like. But then again, I listen to Silverstone Pickups. I don't necessarily listen to this. Like, it's been a long time since I've felt music with screaming and like just metal stuff in general just doesn't even speak to me anymore. Like, it's been a long time since I've felt like, okay, there's one song, and I wish I knew track titles, but there was one song that I liked, and I was like, this song is actually not bad. And then I realized this song reminds me of a Behemoth song that I fucking love. There's one Behemoth song that I love, Conquer All, which I think was like their first song when they came out, Behemoth, the Polish metal band, if you're familiar. But it sounds just like that song. So I'm like, this song sounds like that, which is why I like it. But for the most part, I feel like this album on a whole, for me, was just like everything is like at the apex. It's like everything is just, it's like powerful throughout, which I guess is the thing that they do. But I felt like there was no like guitar solos to differentiate songs for me, and like even some of the solos or guitar parts that they had just aren't even like hard. Like, me as a guitar player, I'm like listening to some of it and I'm like, this is sort of like I could do that, you know, like, and a lot of times I like to listen to music that interests me and like is and makes me think, and I felt like this was made for like just like the kind of guy who just like, I need something that's heavy, that's gonna always be the same song, that it just like I'll differentiate between like a couple of different screaming things, but like overall I felt like the lyrics that I picked out were garbage, like high school like poetry.
Yes,
terrible
lyrics. The lyrics were fucking shit.
Yeah, and overall it bored me.
Everything was death and dying, and then they had a song. Song is not about death. What was the last song? And they're like,
well, let's not get to that song yet.
They had a song. They had a song that contradicted everything that he said. It was like, this song is not about death.
The song I think
every other song is. But
the song I think Mark is talking about, that was a little switch it thing, change the pace of the song called "Writing on the Wall."